A 1-minute phone call from me to her was $1.10. It was really expensive. This fella, Jeff, who knew my wife, Shelley, was from Cleveland. He thought it would be a good match. And he said, I'm working tonight, so come on over and use the phone from there. I was on the phone with her for 2.5 hours. Got as much as maybe 30% in. She got, 70%. And I remember hanging up and I said to Jeff, I gotta meet this girl. So, around 1924, my father, who was born in Poland, wanted to get into the United States because he knew that they were going to constrict him into the army, which apparently was not the best thing in the world to be in the Polish army. You could get into the United States if you had a sponsor, you were healthy, and you showed that you were not taking from, but at least not just typically giving, but not taking from. And my mother, she was born in Lithuania. My father became pretty successful manufacturing shoes. His workers invited him to a dinner, and he went and he met my mother, and they got married. They got married in 1927. And then my brother was born in 1929. And then 5 years later, my sister was born in 1934. And then 5 years later, unfortunately, World War II began with Germany invading Poland in September. We moved to New York, Upper Manhattan, an area called Washington Heights. I had a pretty fabulous time during my adolescent years. I was a teenager during the 50s. What a great decade it was. All you ever did is you go out in the street and play ball. I had a pretty terrific social life. What was the most fun year of my life? It was 1956. I did things that I would probably not recommend. That's when I was a senior in high school. In high school, I worked for an accounting firm, did write-up work. I did just all sorts of things. There was an outfit called Kitty Shoes. I worked there, and I was a pretty good salesperson. Earning like $40, which is like nothing today. But I will tell you that I could take a girl out and we could go out for a hamburger with fries and a drink. It was 49 cents. So $40 was just a lot of dollars. 25. And Shelley was 21. We made some, pretty good money. The apartment, that one-bedroom apartment, was brand new. It was $195 a month. The other agent says to Shelley, we wanted to keep things, kind of quiet. My client is a celebrity. It's Tom Cruise. Good thing about Shelley was she certainly was an alpha. She was very, very opinionated, which I like. I like people who have an opinion, and I want to hear it. I might not agree with it, but at least I want to hear it. And that's really important, to give your opinion. First time I realized that she was super duper special. I think 2 other couples that were married that weekend along with us. We went to the El Presidente Hotel. The other 2 couples were taking care of, this fellow gave us this room, and it was just a regular nothing room. We were disappointed, and my wife said, do not unpack, we're not staying here. And we went downstairs, and she said, see, it says honeymoon suite, blah, 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 and she started arguing with him. I remember she said,
I want to speak to the manager. And he said, I'm the manager. She just kept pushing. She just wouldn't do anything. We ended up in the penthouse.
People asked what was the success of our marriage. And Shelley said, it's the 3 C's of marriage: consideration, cooperation, and the most important, communication. I was 25, and Shelley was 21. My wife, Shelley, I will just call her Shelley. She passed away 2 years ago. We were married 58 years.